Fauvism was a French avant-garde art movement that gained recognition at the start of the 20th century. A vibrant style of painting, artists used vivid colors, sometimes by applying paint directly from their paint tubes. This wasn't as radical as graffiti or spray bomb painting, but pretty radical for back then, when any deviation from the traditional was often scrutinized or not immediately welcomed. In a nutshell, the Fauvism style kept the drawing simple and exaggerated colors. The credit for establishing Fauvism goes to Henri Matisse and André Derain, who broke away from the traditional Impressionist methods and experimented with exaggerated colors. The spontaneous and subjective responses to the subjects in their artworks were expressed through bold brushstrokes and vibrant colors. Initially perceived to be gaudy and obscene, this wild approach was the inspiration behind naming themselves Les Fauves, which means wild beasts in French. The story goes that at the 1905 Salon d'Automne, an exhibition for young artists in Paris, Matisse and Derain's paintings evoked an amusing response from an art critic. Upon seeing the young artist's vibrant artwork surrounding a Renaissance sculpture, the critic remarked that a Donatello was standing in the middle of wild beasts. The name was cheekily adopted by the artists who were inspired by this technique, which made Matisse the king of the wild beasts. Fauves were also inspired by post-impressionist artists in their symbolic and descriptive use of color to create new possibilities in art. Van Gogh used color to express emotion powerfully, and Gauguin's view of colors as a tool for spiritual expression inspired Fauves to adopt a freer and spontaneous technique. However, Matisse said he did not choose colors based on scientific theory like post-impressionists, but on feeling, observation, and the nature of each experience. Also, Fauve artists shifted away from urban themes and returned to impressionist subjects like bourgeois leisure and country landscapes. In order to produce a unified effect, despite loud contrasting colors, Fauve artists simplified their drawing style and included fewer details. Among the paintings at the first Fauve exhibition was Matisse's famous Woman with a Hat, a portrait of his wife. The pairs of complementary colors on her face, hat, and different parts of the painting deliver an expressive view of the woman. It was criticized by spectators. One critic was particularly harsh, saying that a pot of paint had been flung in the face of the public. Well-known American art collector and art critic Leo Stein, whose sister had incidentally bought the painting, called it the nastiest smear of paint he had ever seen. Despite early criticism, Woman with a Hat came to be an important and notable example of Fauvism. As Fauvism's first public outing of sorts, the Salon d'Automne ended up being a hit. Young artists viewed it as an exciting and thought-provoking technique. In the same year, Matisse and Derain created several Fauvist artwork in the south of France. Inspired by the beautiful vistas of the sea, yachts, sky, and surroundings, they used colors liberally to create bold complements. Matisse's open-window Colleux does not imitate the scene before him, but rather expresses how he conceives the scene in his mind. Maximizing the intensity of colors in the painting are color pairs: orange masts rising from blue holes, red blossoms from potted balcony plants juxtaposed against green foliage, and opposing turquoise and pink reflections on either wall behind the window. The beauty of the painting also lies in the illusion of depth and volume it creates. If you blink and reassess the painting, the actual scene before you disappears, and you see an overall decorative pattern of colors. In 1906, the buzz around Fauvism encouraged French art dealer Ambroise Vollard to commission André Derain to create paintings depicting London, a subject that Monet had previously featured. While Monet painted a more somber picture of London's foggy weather and industrial environment, Derain spiced things up by painting London as a Mediterranean holiday destination. Important Fauves other than Matisse and Derain include Maurice de Vlaminck, Georges Bach, Louis Vuitton, and Charles Camois. Vlaminck was an author of racy novels. He was a supporter of anarchy and a bicycle racer. He once compared the creation of his paintings to throwing a bomb. This explosion of colors is evident in Tugboat on the Seine, Chateau, his famous painting of the river at Chateau in northern central France. In 1907 and the years that followed, Braque experimented with greater structure and geometry in his Fauvist artwork, evident in Harbor. Fauvism was not an orderly movement, but a loosely shaped group with a similar approach. Perhaps it was this lack of manifesto and formal association that explains why the movement lasted only a few years. By 1908, Fauves moved on to experiment and work in other styles, including Derain and Braque, who played a part in the development of Cubism. The Fauves' experimentation with color theory would serve as an important inspiration for German expressionists, who would downplay the color in their art. Fauvism brought the possibilities of color in art to the forefront and continues to be regarded as an important movement and period in art history.